situational awareness. And, a lot of my friends, I've got some homeboys that say, you're paranoid. Like, I'm not paranoid. I'm ready. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, So, and it could be any kind of situation where, like, just depending on what kind of spot I'm in. If I'm in a grocery store, my awareness is a little bit more spread out. But if I'm in a convenience store, and I see people walk in, whether they're sketchy or not, I'm already mapping out my cover zone, which way I'm gonna go. Like you talked about in your video, like, does the door open, does it push or does it pull? So I'm already mapping that out. And just even if I'm walking out of Walmart or Target or whatever kind of big store and it's a big parking lot, I'm already scanning the parking lot, as I'm walking to my vehicle. Because, typically that's one of the ways people are getting robbed these days, especially in like Walmart parking lot. People coming up behind you or coming up beside you. So I'm real big on being aware. And so let's talk about that a little bit. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I think that situational awareness is so important, and just being aware every day.
Yes.
One of the things that we get caught up in, and I'm even guilty, is walking around with my cell phone and being distracted and not really paying attention to where I am or what's happening around me. Mm-hmm. But that's so important in this environment right now, because think about what we're talking about. We're talking about people can just walk around and have a gun because they want to.
Yeah.
And we're not ready. We have to start thinking about that individual that has no good intent with their gun. And so being situationally aware of the small things. And you have to start with, one, a mental plan, and then two, a physical plan. So the mental plan is, what would you do? If you had to go into a grocery store, what would you do? Do you know where the exits are? Like, I know when you go into a restaurant with your family, you will likely sit with your back to the door, to the wall, so that you can see the entrances and the exits.
My wife already knows, like, Sharon knows where she's gonna sit, like.
Right, as do I. But at the same time, I need to be able to read my husband, because if something goes wrong on his face, I need to be able to see it. But that's what happens in a restaurant, and most people are good when they're in a small space like a restaurant. But you talk about going into a grocery store, that's when it changes, because I have a focus. My focus is on getting groceries, not necessarily protecting my back.
Right.
So walking into the grocery store, recognizing, hey, where are the employees coming in and out of? Where's the freezer counter? Where is, can I put them in the milk refrigerator? Because actually a young girl in the Buffalo shooting was saved because her father put her inside of the milk refrigerator, and you want to be able to do that and know that.
Yep.
But how many people would just freeze in the aisle? And you have to fight the battle between flight and fright and freeze, because we're going to do one of those. Our body's natural reaction is going to say, I need to run, I need to stand still, or I need to just fall out in the middle of the floor and just forget about it, I'm gone. And we don't want that, right?
Right.
So staying on the move and knowing how to move and knowing where to move, is so important. So situational awareness could be anything. We're talking about a grocery store, but what if you were in your house and you didn't have a firearm, or you couldn't get to your firearm? What would that look like?